I want to feel board of directors. I've already pushed these details with board of directors set policy. You know, you set the policy, you all set the policy for your club. All new business is considered and shaped by the board of directors. Do you all think you can do that? I know you can, past president. And you know, if you do and accomplish those goals and objectives that you set forth for your club this year, everybody in your club is going to consider you all to be the good guys. So I have a Mr. Goodbar to remind you of your duties and responsibilities. Would you perform those duties and responsibilities to the best of your ability? I do. Thank you very much. Vice President. First Vice President, Rick Norman. Rick. Vice President, Frank Cummings. Vice President, Maribel. You all have been elected Vice President of your club. What I just said in terms of duties for the Board of Directors also apply to you. Now, in some clubs, the Vice President is an honorary position. But I hope that's not the case with the Plant City Lions Club. Because Vice Presidents are very important. You have to serve in the absence of the President. And the same duties and responsibilities that the President has, so do you. The same qualifications that the President has, so do you. Because on any given day, during the absence of the President, you have to step up to that position. So, without any further ado, I'll just ask you, will you accept that position to the best of your ability? Now, when you were a little boy,
a long time ago.
But you know what? Even though it was a long time ago, it's still current today. You know why I say that? Because the three vice presidents might be known as the Three Musketeers. And I say that because you're supposed to be like this. You're a team. And if you watch the Three Musketeers on TV like I did when I was a little boy, what was that old saying? One for all and all for one. That's the situation that you should be in within the Plant City. So I'm going to give you a Three Musketeers to remind you of your position as Vice President with the Plant City Lions Club. Would you perform those duties to the best of your ability? Oh, yeah. The treasurer. We have Lion Verna McKelvin. And Vice President Tony Lee.
I'm afraid he's going to ask us if we know it.
Well, I wasn't going to ask you, but I will now. Because I'll just tell you briefly. The treasurer is in charge of the funds of the club. Incoming funds, dues, fines, raffles, fundraisers, etc., etc. Perhaps one of the most important things you got to remember is there are two different funds. One is administrative, one is charity, and you don't mix the two. You keep it simple. You know the difference between administrative and charity?
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you.
I know.
But the president knows because he just served as president. So I'm just going to ask you, you both, will you serve in that capacity to the best of your ability?
Yes.
Now, if you're the treasurer, along with the script that I have, that makes you a paymaster, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm afraid to answer. I
You
already gave you $20.
don't have to give any money.
Okay.
I'm just asking a question. I equate a paymaster with a payday.
Payday.
That was the Hill Club. When they bring that dues, they're going to pay you as a treasurer. So.
I'm real good at this.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, she is.
And I'm going to give you a payday to remind you of your duties and responsibilities. Secretary. Linda Dunn.
Linda. All right, Linda.
Judy Hunter.
Judy.
Now, whether
Been loading up.
The secretary perhaps is the most important position in the Lions Club. You have a multiplicity of duties that you have to perform. Not only be the right hand to President David, but you've got to communicate with your members. You've got to communicate with the governor. Where's the governor? With the governor, the outgoing governor and the incoming governor. You have to communicate with everybody. Make sure that your club members know what's going on, within the club. Communicate and give reports, submit reports. One of the most important reports that you have to submit to the LCI. Are you aware of that, baby? And that's on a monthly basis. We are participating in an activity right now known as the you know about the centennial activities that's going on?
No, I don't. Jack?
Yes, yes. Oh, you're going to suffer just like I
Well,
did. I didn't know you.
Jack didn't tell me about this part.
The Centennial Service Challenge is very important. Because in 2017 we're going to celebrate what?
100.
Our 100th birthday. The Lions Club International. And there's certain activities that are going on right now that Plant City Lions Club should have been participating in for a number of months. And not only Plant City, but all the clubs around the world should have been doing this. And as you participate in various service activities, you go to the computer and log it in on my LCI. That's the only way LCI is going to be able to know what you're doing and at the same time give you credit. Because at the end of the year, you can earn what? Points?
Candy bar.
That's a good recognition.
She knew it started with a P.
To receive recognition, and the district governor will receive recognition. And if, I think it's like, help me out, Susie, is it 50% of the clubs or 75% of the clubs? 50% of the clubs will receive, the district governor will receive an outstanding recognition as well. And we're going to do this from now until, I think it's going to run through 2018. And if you do that, but that's your responsibility. But anyway,
I'll remind you.
Yes, ma'am.
Come celebrate in Chicago?
Yes, ma'am. And Lord willing, and I'll just, since you mentioned it, I'll just mention this to everyone here this evening. If you're financially able and physically able, every lion, especially in the United States of America, should be in Chicago, Illinois at that time for our international convention. I suspect that it is going to be a magnificent celebration that we have never seen before. And this fellow who calls himself Melvin Jones, who founded this great organization, he will probably roll over in his grave with that, because I know he's going to feel the rumbling of the footsteps of lions. So I say that not only to you all, but everybody here. If you're physically and financially able to go to Washington, D.C. this year, you don't come to Chicago. You don't have to fly. You can fly. Just take a few days. I don't know how long it would take you to drive. But Mary and I drove to Washington, D.C. in a day. We were much younger than that. I don't know if we could do that. More than likely I would fly. But at any rate, as secretary, during all of the various communications that you have to do, would you perform those duties to the best of your ability? And I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because we're going to have mounds and mounds. We have two. Yeah. You're going to have mounds and mounds of paperwork. But at the end of the year, if you can pat yourselves on the back and say, a job well done, which is no doubt in my mind that you will, you'll say, almond joy.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't. Well, since you mentioned that, I remember when I was a governor a few years ago, I wanted everything to be perfect. Life is not perfect. Until a past district governor pulled me to the side one day and he said, listen, and I'll just share this with you for whatever it's worth. Lions Clubs International is a volunteer organization. There are going to be times when things just simply don't go right. Or you may think that things are not going right. But for the most part, nobody would know but you. I know I would stand before the Lions in my district at a cabinet meeting, and I knew something wasn't going quite the way I wanted it to go. But when I thought about it, and some of you who are past district governors, you probably experienced the same thing. Not even to mention as council chairperson, or even as an international director. I know I'm getting off a little bit, but I just want to share this with you. I was in a board meeting. And the president was taking a vote. And at some point, he would say, all those in favor say yes. All those in favor say no. On this particular day, at this particular board meeting, he said, all those in favor say yes. I and the other board members said yes. Then he said, Governor Jr., all those not in favor say no. And I said no. You could hear my voice. My voice was the only voice that you could hear. But you can hear my voice throughout this boardroom. The president was here and I was sitting down here and he did this. And when he did this, I'm sitting here, I did this. When he turned his head toward me, I turned my head the other way. He never said anything, but I went to him after the meeting and I told him, this was Wayne Mack at the time, and I told him, I said, Mr. President, I said, I don't know why I voted no. He said, don't worry about his face. He said, don't worry about his face. He said, pass anyway. But that was the kind of guy he was. And I say that to say this. When things don't go, Mr. President, the way you think it should go, it's going to be all right. Because you have officers and members of your great club that's going to see to it that everything is done on any given